Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, I'm Miriam Dow, wife, mom of four, real estate investor, and entrepreneur. So today's video, we're going to be talking about house hacking. If you already purchased your home and you have a single family home and you're looking for ways to make extra income in your single family house, because it can be done. Okay, let's get right into it. My most popular video on this channel is my multifamily video that I recorded, I think 2 years ago. Here is the link for that video right here. It's about 36,000 views. Thank you so much for that. But this is a topic that everyone loves. Now, in that video, I'm discussing how I purchased a single family home, and I'm giving all of my viewers recommendations not to buy that as your first primary residence. Now, I know interest rates were different when I recorded that video. I think I recorded that video in 2021. So interest rates were really good back then. They were at 4%, at 5%. They were really, really good. 3%. That's when everyone was buying real estate. There was 50 bids on a house. Now, fast forward 2-3 years later, interest rates are at 7%, 8%, and that's with really good credit. It's even higher. So I understand it's hard to go ahead and buy these multifamily properties. They're very hard to find. So I have a solution for you. If you've never heard of the term house hacking, that's where you basically rent out a portion of your home that you live in to renters so that they can help you pay that mortgage, okay? And it could be a secluded area. House hacking is basically making use of an empty space. You can consider converting that into a separate living quarters. It could be separate away from your existing, quarters. So it could be separate. Different examples of that could be your garage. You can convert that into a small studio. Your basement is really good. If you have a different entryway to the basement, you can convert that into another rental unit. Or if you have space on your, if you happen to have a big backyard, like for us, we bought a house on a lot that's about 10,000 square feet, and we have a really backyard, and I go months without going back there. And that's wasted space, to be honest. Go ahead and convert that space, put a tenant there, and we're not using the space anyway, so out of sight, out of mind. I won't be bothered, and maybe I can show you better than I can tell you. Let's go outside. Let me show you what I'm talking about. All right, y'all, so this is my backyard, and don't mind the mess. Over the summer, as you can see from my previous videos, I had a gazebo right here. This deck that the gazebo was on was starting to rot. So like you could see on this side here, it was starting to rot. It was really bad, and you would walk on it and it wasn't safe at all. So I decided to have the gazebo taken down, put here, and then my husband and my brother came and they took the deck away. So the deck is over there, but they're not really finished, and then it started to get cold, so this project has just been on hold. So this is my nice little seating area that's usually on the gazebo. That's here. I usually should cover this for the summer, but to be honest, I go months without coming back here. So anyway, the purpose of me coming to this backyard is because our property is on a 9,800 square feet lot, right? So I actually contacted my town, because in order to do anything like this, where you want to put a structure on your property, you have to go ahead and contact the local zoning office, make sure you can get it done. So this is a pool. We do not use this. It costs more money to have this pool. Usually anytime you have a pool in a cold area, you're supposed to cover it over the winter, but I know I'm getting rid of this pool, so I don't want to pay anyone to do anything else. This is the pool. It's an above ground pool. Costs so much to maintain the pool, and we literally use it once. Hey guys, I've been working really, really hard on my ebook, and this ebook is going to be out in the next 30 days. I'm currently getting it proofread, then it's going to get designed, and then it's going to be all yours. I get a lot of questions from all of you asking me questions on how to get started on your Airbnb business, how to get started in real estate investing, single mothers, single fathers. I get tons of questions to my Instagram, and I try to reply to you guys as much as I can, but I felt like, having this product out there, a lot of you guys are asking me for mentorship, and I don't know if I'm there yet. I don't want to be everybody else with the ebook or some kind of digital product. I wanted to make sure I provide value. I wanted to make sure that I actually am qualified to answer these questions that you have. With 3 years of researching real estate before actually starting, and over 3 years actually in this business, running it, I don't have a property manager. I don't have a mentor. I'm my own mentor, and I do this all myself. My L's I've turned into lessons for you to learn from. stay tuned, follow me on Instagram, and sooner or later you're going to see a link to my ebook down in the description boxes of the video, also in my link in bio of my Instagram page. I hope you guys like it. Now let's get back to the video. Like last summer we used it once, summer before that we used it once. So I go through all of this, you know, getting it cleaned out and all this stuff, filter out the water. This past summer we actually got rid of all the water that was in there. We put whole new water in there. It took like 2 days for it to fill up, almost 3 days to fill up, and then we used it once for like a little for like a pool party we had, and then that was about it. Now I'm not about to go around there because I be seeing animals over here. This is a shed where we keep, like, we have a bounce house for the kids, and we have like some cars for our twin daughters, and like a lot of their outdoor toys, like their wet slip and slide toys and stuff like that, goes in here in our pool cleaning supplies, like Clorox tablets or whatever you call it. We have a long ladder here, and this is just overgrown. Now on this other side we have a garden. I have planted some watermelons and some corn. I'm really scared to go over here because I told you I be seeing animals like raccoons and stuff, but we gonna try. But yeah, so yeah, I had did some work on my driveway, so that's the rest of the cement. It costs so much money to get rid of garbage, so once the dumpster got full we just put the rest on the side to hold that. But yeah, that's where I was growing corn and stuff like that. But the reason why I brought you guys back out here is because I would like to remove this pool. As you can see, this is a really big backyard. So my thought process was put a fence up where our house stops here and come here and all the way here. So then remove this pool and possibly put an ADU back here. An ADU is an additional dwelling unit. Basically that's like another structure. It's like a tiny home. So it's like 200 square feet, like 300 square feet. They're usually like less than 400 or 500 square feet. So they're really tiny homes, but the way they're built is very practical. So you can have companies build them for $70,000. You can get it really decked out for like crazy amounts of money, but I don't think anything over $100,000 would be smart. There's companies that build them and have them shipped to you. There's a company like Boxable that literally builds it, brings it here, and like mounts it right away. Or you can go on Home Depot, and on Home Depot's website they actually have tiny homes that you could purchase for like 40 grand, and they get it delivered to you and you mount it yourself. So that's basically another way of doing house hacking, where it's like separate, secluded from the house. Now this is our garage right here. This portion right there is our garage right there. So you can even empty that out, turn that into like a studio or something, but that's still attached to the home, and I'm not trying to hear no one. So I feel like this is something that I probably would be comfortable with, you know, putting the fence up. They have their own entrance into their yard, and then you have that small ADU back here. Now my town doesn't allow for short-term rentals, but it would be great for like a medium-term rental. We have I got like 3-4 major hospitals close to my house. So traveling nurses, this would be very popular for them. Now if I was to do this as a long-term rental, let's say it's like a 1-bedroom, I could probably rent it between $1,500 to $2,000. And if I was to have it on a medium-term platform, I could probably rent it out for about $2,500 a month. So just think about that. These are things that you could do to turn your single family essentially into a multifamily. Now the process with the town, it's a little complicated. So first you submit, I called the town and they told me to submit an application, basically with like, I didn't have any drawings yet of the tiny house, but the zoning officer wanted me to submit as many pictures as possible of an idea of a tiny home that I wanted to put in the back of the house, like an ADU. So I took up pictures and I took up like mock models that Home Depot had on their website, and then they wanted me to put like a long detailed description of what I wanted to put the house in the back and what it was going to look like, and maybe some measurements. So I told them that I didn't buy anything yet. I just wanted to see if I can get this done. Now, one of the first requirements, they go by the rules, is that you have to have 10,000 square feet. Now my home, the exact square footage of my lot is 9,800, like a little bit over 9,800. So I was like, oh, they're probably gonna approve it because it's just a little bit off, but they declined it. So after they declined it, it's not said and done, like there's things that you can do. The next step is to submit an application for the zoning board, and that's a $50 fee. You pay that $50 fee, and then you have to, the zoning board then goes ahead and alerts your neighbors. So within a certain distance from your house, the homes adjacent to you and your neighbors. So it's probably going to be like my neighbor right here to the right of me, my neighbor to the left of me, and then my neighbor that I'm directly adjacent from, and they get an invitation to this hearing, and I go before the zoning board and I just tell them why I want to put this in the back of the house. They're going to have questions, and then all of this is happening. So it's like you're in a courtroom. All of this is happening in front of your neighbors, and if they object or if they have any, inputs or I guess questions, they can, say what they got to say. But that process is $3,000 between the fees for the court fees and all that other stuff is $3,000. So I have a neighbor that's a builder. He did it in one of his homes, so I think it's possible, but he did tell me that he was trying to do it for another property that he was building and they declined it. But then he saw another builder do it on a smaller lot. So it's like, I don't know if there's favoritism in my county, but it's something that I think I want to do. Now, I would not want to really live here with tenants. That's not something that I'm looking to do, but I think it's something that I'm interested in for when we move out of this house and essentially turn my single family into a multifamily. Now, another thing that you can do if you don't want to get into all that, because it's a lot of expenses, right? $3,000 just to go ahead before the zoning board could be intimidating. And they could, in all honesty, they could just go ahead and decline it altogether. And then you, $3,000 plus $50, that's $3,050. So another thing you could do is actually convert your basement into a rental property. As I was saying, another thing you can do is actually turn your basement into a separate unit. Now the basement, I actually had a company come and take a look at our basement about 2 weeks ago. Right now we have a water issue, so every time it rains or it rains really bad, we get a lot of water down there. So we never finished it. We bought it unfinished and we never finished it. We just use it for storage and laundry. So I actually had a company, like a waterproofing company, come out and take a look. They quoted me $10,000 for that. We're scheduled to do that for the end of this month, thank God, because I'm just tired of going down here and seeing water. I had a construction come out and give me a quote, and they said they would finish the basement for $30,000. Now, $30,000 includes the material, the labor. We already have a washer and dry out there, but to frame out the laundry room, put a door there. We don't have a bathroom there, so that includes putting a bathroom, framing in a little bathroom with a shower, toilet, sink, framing out one bedroom, and then having the open space for the living room. And also, that's about it. The flooring, framing, electrical work, plumbing work, and all of that would be $30,000. Now, I did discuss an egress window with him because to legally have tenants in your basement, you need to have a way for them to escape just in case of an emergency. So that's something that you gotta pull permits out for. And I'll put an example of an egress window right here. You don't wanna have a tenant in your basement illegally, and then God forbid a fire happens, something happened, they can't go out through, the steps, and they need to go out through a window, and you don't have a window from them to escape to. You don't want those kind of issues. So I always recommend do it the right way the first time. Don't try to, cut corners. I actually have a neighbor that rents out her basement, and I think the last time I asked her was maybe a year and a half ago. I think the last time I asked her, she said she was making an extra $1,200 renting out her basement. So these are options that you could do to turn your single family into a multifamily. Now, the ADU in the backyard takes a lot because you have to go before a zoning board. It might be intimidating. Then your neighbors is all up in your business. And if you're not really cool with your neighbors, they can go ahead and object. Now, I don't know if they really have to say. I think it's more informational purposes for them. But yeah, anytime you do any kind of structure changes or anything like that, please go to your zoning office, speak to them, get all the rules and regulations. You have to provide. Now, when I submitted the application the first time, I submitted a whole bunch of pictures with what I wanted the ADU to look like. I submitted a detailed description, so one page telling him I want it to look like this, very small, not more than this amount of square feet, and then also the survey of your property. The survey of your property is basically like a graphic depiction of your home. It's kind of like a map outlining all the legal boundaries of your home. So when you actually purchase your home at the closing office, one of the things you get is a survey. And once we got our survey, we actually learned that we have some square footage on both sides of our land. So to the right side, where the fence is not really where our survey ends. It's not really where our land lot ends, and also on the back side of our home. So if we ever wanted to go ahead and push the fence out a little bit more to where it actually ends, we can do that. But yeah, basically these are some ideas if you are looking to house hack. I know this economy is crazy with things right now, and you know, it's really hard to get into your first multifamily deal. But if you're already in a single family situation, these are ways for you to actually, you know, make some extra income. So tell me what you think about this video. Would you ever consider renting, you know, to tenants in the same home? Now, if you're single, why not? You know, rent a room out, rent the studio out, maybe deck out the garage, live in the garage, and have tenants in the house. You could rent it by room. If you live near a university, there's endless possibilities, but don't feel like you suck, because you can always do it. You're probably going to be uncomfortable for a temporary amount of time, but it comes down to how bad do you want it. Do you want financial freedom or not? You're not going to always be comfortable. These are some sacrifices that you have to make in order to get to your financial freedom. Any questions you have in the comment section down below, give me some video ideas, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.